And this is Toyin Umesiri. Today we're talking about the future of leadership and entrepreneurship. And before I actually went live, I already started the conversation on Clubhouse. So we're already getting into it. I usually host pre-show and after-show conversations on Clubhouse. So thank you to everybody that is joining today. Let me know where you're joining from. Today I'm going to be talking about the future of leadership and entrepreneurship. So I serve as a leadership success entrepreneurship coach, right? I teach entrepreneurship and international trade. And I want to share today a few things that I've been seeing. Okay. Over the weekend, I had the opportunity to coach and mentor a group of first founders, right? So, startup founders, startup ecosystem, and all of those things. And one of the questions they asked me really was about leadership. And what I want to talk about today is this idea that, where we're coming from as a society or as the world, and where I see us going towards in terms of future is the future, right? Leadership and entrepreneurship is also shifting as well. So that's what I want to dive into today. So when it comes to leadership, right, in the structure of the enterprise that we had before, what happened was the education system also aligned to the structure of, right, the enterprise, the companies, right? So we wanted depth of knowledge. So you go to school to become an accountant, like depth, 4 or 5 years accounting. You would go to school to become an engineer, depth, 5 years engineering, right? We needed depth, right? And you will go into the enterprise with the depth, meaning companies wanted you to function in that capacity as an accountant, as a lawyer, as an engineer, all of that. That's fantastic. You bring in technical competency. That's what we call technical competency, right? The skills that you acquired in school is what your employer will hire you to do on the job. And then over time, if you play your cards well, if you develop yourself, if you invest in yourself, particularly if you invest leadership qualities, right, you will be promoted, you will advance to the next level. And then at the top of the house, what is usually required is breadth of knowledge. Because for you to rise to the top of a global enterprise, as example, you don't only need depth in one space in terms of technical competency, you actually need communication, human development, management principles, team building, collaboration, all of those things, which requires us to stretch. It requires you to stretch beyond your technical competency, right? So that's the world we're coming from, is that at the base of that pyramid structure in companies, right? At the base, we require technical competencies to keep doing the work, to program, to do all of the things that it takes to run the engine of the enterprise. You do need technical competency to keep a company afloat. And then in the middle, you get into management principles. You're managing that team to increase their productivity on the job, right? And then at the top of the house, you're looking into the future. That's where we talk about leadership, productivity, management at a broad level of competition, all of those things, right? Internal dynamics and external if you're a publicly traded company. Okay. That's really the traditional model that we've all adopted, right? But there's now a shift. What usually happened is that previously, many people rose to the top of the house without technical competency. Many people advanced through the chain to the top of the house without really knowing what they were managing. They rose to the top because of their communication skills or people skills. Fantastic. Today, that's not working anymore. It's been disrupted. It's been disrupted because the enterprise, as it used to be, the consumer base, the market, all of those things have been disrupted. It's actually, I would say, easier to manage an existing company than to start a new one. Right? That's what we talk about, the founders principle. Companies that still have their founders, they tend to innovate faster. There's a lot of study around, companies that are growing beyond their founder or companies that still have their founder. Their ability to continue to innovate, evolve as the market shifts. That happens when those leaders have certain skills. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing, is that now for you to actually develop leadership skill, you need to combine both depth of knowledge and breadth. That's one dimension. And when it comes to entrepreneurship as well, so on one hand, existing established businesses, mega 500, Fortune 500 companies function a certain way. The reason what's going on right now is we actually need leaders that care, that can communicate, but actually also know what they're doing, right? That's also a shift in leadership, is that technical competency is now required at the top of the house. So when you think about companies like Tesla, with the news today, right? I put some posts out there that it's been kind of going viral in a way about my thoughts when it comes to Elon Musk buy of Twitter. I actually personally think it's not just about free speech, because really, from a business strategy standpoint, companies, business leaders don't invest billions into managing free speech. I think there's it's a lot more than that. I think it's that Tesla actually needs Twitter in terms of rich data. They have autonomous vehicle. They're trying to take over the future of the world. They're actually designing the future of the world anyway, right? Elon Musk is doing that. And that's also a leadership requirement today, is that you don't you can no longer just be building for today, right? So if you're a leader and all you're trying to do is build for today, either as an entrepreneur or as a leader of an organization, is that the requirement, the future is arriving sooner than before, right? So any solution you're leaving or creating or launching today, what's the lifespan of that solution, right? Because before you blink, right, in 3 months time, whatever it is you release technology wise today, your competition would release something new. So there's a new speed of innovation has increased, because we all, as customers and clients, guess what, we want more, 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 more. So that's fantastic. So the question for me now is, how do you raise such leaders, right? That can think fast, that can think about the future, that can build for the future while solving for today. So it's about building for tomorrow, but solving for today. How do you raise such leaders? How do you become such leader that can see ahead of the curve while still not being denial, while still meeting the needs of today? That's a question on my mind. Because here's what's also not helping, is that the whole cultural dimension of the social space in terms of social media is actually conditioning us collectively not to become such leaders. Social media is conditioning us to skip, to skim, to scroll. And you cannot be the leader of the future by skimming, skipping, scrolling. You actually have to soak, learn, go deeper, and go wide. And it requires study. It requires study, because I'm seeing entrepreneurs struggle today because they are going into entrepreneurship with lots and lots of assumption. They haven't studied what it takes to actually be a successful entrepreneur. They have a product, they have a service, and yet they do not have the knowledge base. And if you've heard me before talk about education, I'll repeat it. If this is your first time ever, you're welcome. Let me repeat my insights about education. Okay, education, the power of education, right, exposes us to new knowledge. So what differentiates somebody that's a medical doctor from a pilot, really, as human, is what they studied, meaning the type of knowledge they invested time in acquiring, right? That's the difference. The difference between a nurse and a doctor. Let me even make it even in the same industry, in the same sector. The difference between a nurse and a doctor, really, at the end of the day, is the direction of education and knowledge they decided to invest in. That's really the difference, right? So this is the power of knowledge, is that we all function out of the knowledge, based on the knowledge we have acquired. We will function higher when we invest in more knowledge. This is the power of education. So even in leadership, right? You can improve your leadership skills. You can even increase your performance as an entrepreneur by acquiring knowledge, by studying what it takes, what other people know, the success, those that have achieved success in your line of field. What do they know that you do not know? Unfortunately, unfortunately, I'm finding that there's another type of behavior that we are being conditioned to adopt that is actually making us believe that we can skip, skim, scroll past knowledge, that we can see that poster, one post, and all of a sudden it triggers us. We feel more brilliant. But guess what? 24 hours later, you don't remember what you just read. There's no transformation. And that's why people spend, I mean, you can think about the last 5 years that you've spent on traditional, you know, um, social media platform. The only exception is YouTube. YouTube actually gives you depth of knowledge because to actually watch those videos, you have to spend time, significant time, right? That's why I invest in this kind of format. Is that YouTube is the exception that for you to actually benefit out of YouTube, you have to invest time, energy, and you have to sit down, you have to digest the information, right? You have to process it, and you have to come to conclusion, right? I know YouTube now is introducing like short form, all of those because of TikTok and all of those in reels. But what I see is that if you actually want to, upgrade yourself, let me also say upgrade yourself. Those things, those short form, they are really good with entertainment, you know, and somehow they can trigger education, but that it doesn't bring about transformation and depth. Unless maybe if you watch something um for 30 seconds and then you personally spend time researching it, that's what will give you the depth of understanding, right? So that's the danger that I'm seeing, is that we're all being conditioned because the brain loves those short dose, right? Boom, boom. It make in the moment you feel, wow, that was incredible. Oh, that word. And I do share stuff like that, use social media. Don't let social media use you. It's like, wow, impactful. Yes, it resonates, it stays there. But behind that phrase, if you are to study that phrase, you will actually get more insights if you dig deeper. But unfortunately, we are not being conditioned to study deeper. So let me get some reactions on Clubhouse to what I just shared before I go on. Mr. Bossede, you're here on stage with me. Thank you so much. Miss Chrissy, good to see you. John, Eric, Coach, Sidikat, Mr. Joseph, feel free to come up stage and let's get into the conversation. I want to see what are your thoughts? What are your immediate thoughts on that? Thank you. Oh, Miss Abasade, are you here with us? If not, that's okay. I can keep talking, but I also want to know what's on people's mind. And if you're watching on YouTube and LinkedIn, please do let us know where you're joining from. And also, if you're Team Replay, thank you so much for scrolling by and stopping. Thank you for not just going on, but taking a moment to really listen, because I think that's what it actually takes today. Is like we actually have to take a moment, we have to investigate, because we're all being conditioned to really just scroll past, but the real nuggets, the best knowledge in the world, requires us to also invest time, energy, and resources. Miss Chrissy, welcome to the stage. Always a pleasure to have you here. How are you?
I am excellent. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Can't believe I'm late.
No, it's okay.
But what I heard since I walked in is um, long-winded people like me will win in the end because I
Yes.
can't stand everything happening so quickly because I take time to process. I love talking. I'm a storyteller for a living. So it's like I host tours and I'm talking for 3 hours and I can talk the entire 3 hours. So hearing that short form is detrimental, as I thought so, how fast things are going. And it sounds like us long-winded folks are actually going to win. And I'm happy.
Right. But here's the thing. Everything I'm sharing right now goes against the popular belief. right? So, as a strategist and a futurist, I'm actually trained to investigate reality and to disrupt status quo. Okay. So, I'm trained, I don't get fooled easily. Let me just put it, let me use street lingo. Is that, for example, when Twitter is telling us, or Elon Musk is telling us, oh, I'm buying Twitter because of free speech. I'm like, really? The whole world believes you. I don't, because nobody spends billion doing the job of a government. Are you a government? Because I also deal in that world, right? So, but here's the thing: statements like that are heavily sentimental. It brings about emotion. In fact, any news report, any headline that stirs your emotion is by design, that gets you reacting. Because here's what happens, like even in leadership, the more emotional you are, the less intelligent in the moment you are. Actually, you can't think straight. As humans, when the moments our emotions are stale, that's why they talk about blind rage, anger, all of those things. That the more of our emotion that is stirred by news, right, all of those things, particularly in the negative, in that moment we are less likely to make intelligent decisions. That's really how the human mind is that to make intelligent decision, you need clear mind, you need less emotion. That's why when I teach at the Business and Leadership Academy, I always say to the entrepreneur, you are not the heart of your business, right? This is not about you technically. The more technical, the more architectural, the more structural, the more engineering mindset you bring to your your business, the more successful you would be. The more emotion, or the more emotional you are about building a business, the less successful you would be. Why? The customer and the clients, they are actually the heart of your business. They're the ones that bring blood flow, cash flow. You need to investigate their own reality, because when you understand them, you can serve them better. But to understand them, you actually need a clear mind. You need a clear mind. You need to see clearly. You need to be like a research, like a investor, like an investigator. Like literally, the most successful entrepreneurs, you need to be an you need to apply curiosity. Empathy, curiosity is what it takes to win in entrepreneurship. But unfortunately, a lot of entrepreneurs are wrapped up in their own emotion, in their own world, in their own reality, in what it is they want, me, myself, and I. They put themselves at the heart of the business. And guess what? The business is not really about you. What I teach and what I guide my clients on is that you will be rewarded for serving and meeting the needs, whether it's emotional needs of your customers and clients. When you meet their own emotional desires, that's where the reward comes in. That's where the financial, but anyway, I'm not teaching here, but those are principles. And I have my own principles when it comes to persuasion and sales. I say never attempt to persuade people against their will, but in the direction of what it is they want. Help them get there sooner. Help your customers and clients get them there sooner. That's the future of entrepreneurship, because the sales principles of the past, of badgering people, right? It's not going to work anymore. It's not working. It's not going to work. Why? Let me explain why, and then I'll open that up, because Miss Christie just, triggered an excitement in me. I love excitement because this is what I do. Is that I prefer to have my clients make educated decision, educative purchase decision, right? What I say is, when your customers and clients, make intelligent decision in buying your product and your service, okay, meaning you allow them to arrive at that conclusion consciously. They agree that they need your product and your service, and you give them control to make that decision. It's going to have a lasting impact, and they will fall in love with your brand, because your brand helped them arrive where they were going. Unfortunately, there's this old school mindset where it leads customers and clients to make what I call dumb decision. Meaning, oh, just buy it, don't worry, just buy it. Guess what? You rush them to buy. God, guess what's going to happen? When they get home and look at those decisions, they will still realize they made the wrong decision. That's what leads to buyer's remorse. Remorse. I hope I said that well. So on one hand, sales and persuasion now is going through this disruption as well. The old school was make people feel like they need your product, excite them, stimulate certain emotion, get them making irrational decisions, on and on and on. And it worked. It was heavily psychological. It works. It still works to a certain extent, but it doesn't work particularly when what you're actually trying to sell, the transformation you're trying to bring about, actually requires the client to make investments, time investment before they can reap the reward. So temporarily, you could sell them a program. You could make them believe that that program is magical. It will bring them overnight result. But when you fail to tell them that the results only comes if they do the work, guess what? Because they are not ready to do the work, they don't do the work and they don't get the result. And guess what? They will cancel on you. Example. This is where the future of entrepreneurship is going. And I'm trying to encourage people to understand this shift. When people sell you a gym membership, at the beginning of the year, the industry goes through, oh, everybody buys gym membership. But what we don't do, and this is why I say, if we actually couple that gym membership with a certain level of support, most people that enroll in the gym membership will not cancel as the year goes by. Because gym membership alone does not bring about transformation. I'm just giving this as an example. I can sell you gym membership. I can make promises to you that my gym is the best, that we have all this equipment, that, right? It's flashy, you love it, you buy that gym membership. And you're paying every month for that membership. But guess what? What they failed to tell you at the beginning or to inspire you on is that you actually have to be ready to sweat in that gym. What they did not share with you, or what they failed to do, is to say, our gym also has standby support that would send you, check on you, right? Make sure that, because we care about the results more than just selling that membership. That's the future of entrepreneurship. That's actually what people need. What clients need is not just your product. They also need information about how to use your product and get the maximum use and reward out of your product and services. That's the future of entrepreneurship, is that the world will reward you if it's not just about making money, but it's actually about serving them and helping them achieve the ultimate goal. So if you're a gym owner, if the ultimate goal is for people to stay fit, to do this, right, then design your programs, maybe tiered programs, maybe 2-tier program. Okay, gym membership alone, gym membership plus support, gym membership plus follow-up, right? Bundle it and you'll be amazed how many people will go to the higher tier. Because ultimately, the only reason people invest in gym membership is for the results. But here's the deal. If they don't do the work, no results. No results, we cancel. So that's the future of entrepreneurship, is that I now teach that you need to go beyond just trying to sell a product. You actually have to educate your clients about what it takes to get the results they have, the journey they're on, and how you are committed to helping them achieve and get there. That's what I see as the future of entrepreneurship. And that is what will always ultimately lead to a lasting business, at least in the future. In the past, you don't have to do that work. You just sell the membership, you're out. But think about what's happening with Netflix right now. Okay? That's also, for me, I read trends. And when I read trends, Netflix should signal to the subscription model businesses that the end is here, the end is near. If you're going to get people to subscribe, you need to make sure that every week you're dropping incredible value. Every day, as they're paying for that subscription, and what's happening is, if people are saying, okay, I've been entertained enough, Netflix. So even for me, maybe I'll share some of those things, my thoughts about Netflix, is that it's a testament that there is now a new desire. It's not about the Netflix, the platform. It's not about entertainment. What I'm finding is that people need more than entertainment today. Social media is conditioning us. In fact, what I need, for example, this is the test. Ask yourself, ask this question: what do you need today? How do you want your life to look today, tomorrow? What life are you creating for your kids? I'm saying that any entrepreneur that can help you achieve that life holistically is the entrepreneur, the winning entrepreneur of the future, right? If it's to entertain, people now have been saturated with entertainment. What I find, even for me, entertainment is not really what that my in my entire 24 hours, the time I spend towards just entertainment is shrinking by the day. Why? Because I'm leveling up, right? I'm leveling up. I'm thinking beyond just one dimension, right? My responsibility as a leader, a business owner, right? All and on, influencer, whatever it is, my responsibility and the life I'm creating for myself, right, is getting more dynamic and bigger. And because of that, entertainment continues to shrink, shrink, shrink. But anything that inspires me, educates me, motivates me towards that life of my dream, I will invest in. That's a change in behavior as well. I see Miss Anne saying, I agree. Okay, let's put that up here. Thank you, Miss Anne. Miss Anne says, I agree. The value proposition should guide the process. Going beyond selling the product is the key. The benefits should be a two-way street. Absolutely. Thank you. That's the same thing. In fact, in designing your value proposition, my point also is to factor in not just short-term benefits, right? Not just short term reward for your clients, but show them the journey you're ready to take them on and what that future looks like for them. So that's really the point as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. Awesome. So let's also open it to discussion. More thoughts, more comments, more reaction. Miss Chrissy, Miss Abasede is on mic. She's back with us. Yes, go on.
Yeah, very good. Well said, Ma. I think what you made us pass through is going behind the scene of product launch. I think what most of us used to do before is just jump into marketing and looking for sales everywhere. You know, we forget to go. We forgot to. We don't used to do the normal thing, the process of knowing your customers, what they want, the problem, their needs, their desires, and how to produce a product to be able to serve those things. So what you did for us is you compel us to identify them, understand them, create one for them, then
Oh my gosh. Just hold on, Miss Abosede. I am so happy. I'm smiling because Miss Abosede is one of my students. She's using words from the assign. Okay, I'm so sorry. I had to just, you're making me laugh a lot. The reason is because the words you're using, they are the technical terms. I teach technical entrepreneurship principle, and those technical terms, if you can also help other people to break it down, right? Because when I everything you're saying, I understand, but I don't think most people, those that have not gone through those programs, right, they may not really understand what we're saying. So just slow down a little bit and just share if you can share. But then, go on.
all right. So what I'm saying is, sometimes if you don't do the work, okay, sales may be very difficult. The work of trying to really understand your customers,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So and sometimes customers they change, they pivot, like based on time and stuff like that. So you really need to know them before and now. Probably you're having new people coming in based on age or based on location or, maybe situation and stuff like that. You need to keep on researching on who they are, what they want, their pains, their desires and stuff like that. So once you get that, then you can create a product for them, a product that solve those desires. Okay, so that is what you need to do first. Those are the things you will use as your marketing. What's it called now? It's what those are the things you're going to use for your marketing strategy. So that is what is going to speak to them. You'll be speaking their language because you're speaking from their pain, from their desire. So automatically sales is going to be very easy because you've taken your time to do all those, So that is what I'm saying, that that we have some kind of back behind the scenes before the sales, before the market takes place, before the sales takes place easily. So I really appreciate that, because you really made me go through that, because it's a lot. It's another thing to know something, is another thing to bring it out and write it out and communicate it, in a way that people, we understand, and people that really affected, or people that were concerned, can you can communicate it to them effectively, that they can recognize you. So that is what
Absolutely
you helped us to bring out.
Yes, and one of the things Mr. Bossede is talking about is the Business and Leadership Academy. There's actually a roadmap. There's a journey. If you're an entrepreneur, there's a journey I take you through. Like Mr. Bossede was saying, we all want to sell. We jump, we skip the step, and we start posting buy, market, market, market. That's what we typically do. And the question I would ask everybody listening to me today is, how many people do you follow on social media that is chasing you with a product? How many of them have you bought anything from? Right? Do you really respond to everybody in your face every single day trying to sell you something? All those pop-ups and everything. You just scroll, we know how to sweep it aside. Don't you sweep it aside? I'm saying the reason I go through this process with my clients is, don't be that person that most people are sweeping. Buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. Right? Because today we are so saturated with, the key is people actually, this is what people need to know, which is what Mr. Abosede was talking about in terms of the content strategy I teach people. All that your potential clients needs to know. They need to be able to intelligently assess your offer. They need to be able to intelligently make sure it is right for them. They need to be able to understand the transformation they're about to achieve. And they need to be able to conclude that they are ready to invest and to be all in on that offer to extract the value. That's what we all want. If you're bringing me any offer, buy this, buy that, I am like, why? Why should I buy this? So when you understand that people are always asking why, your content should always be answering the why. Let me repeat that. You need to understand that everybody you are trying to sell something to as an entrepreneur, they always will be asking, why should I buy? Why should I invest? Why should I listen to this person? Why? Because that's what we do. Why should I pay attention to you? Why should I listen? Why should I invest my hour in listening to Toyin? What is Toyin about? What is she going to offer me? How is she going to make my life better? Is my business really going to grow? All of those questions, I have a template. That if you run that template, you will come up with the answers to all the why, what questions that your customers and your clients already have. And until you answer all those questions, they are not buying, they are not investing, because you know why? We only spend money consciously on what we need, what we want, what we desire to help us achieve our aspirations, to remove pain in our life, on and on and on. There's also something I introduced around blind spot. Miss Abosede, have you practiced the blind spot lately? Right? What can you see that your customers cannot see? What do you know that your clients do not know? How do you then educate? You have to create content around helping enlighten them, because when you do, they will now go, oh, wow, okay. Oh, wow, now I understand. Now I know why I need to enroll. Now I know I need to study. I didn't know before because nobody told me. Now I know I need a life coach. Now I know. So you need to move your client and customer from why, what, who, right? Questions to enlightenment, awareness, intelligence, brilliance, because this is what I say. I trust humans because we will always make decisions to our own benefit. So if I know you will benefit me, I will pay attention. But if I think you will not benefit me, I'm not giving you any attention. That's how the world runs, right? And that's what I say. Once my members, when we go through that roadmap journey, you will come on the other side fully. You'll be laughing, you'll be smiling because you know what to expect. And anytime anybody comes in with a question, your job is to provide an answer. Unfortunately, most entrepreneurs will be like, I am the Don, I am this, I am that. Nobody cares. What can you do for me? Right? And when you understand me, then you can serve me. And if you don't take time to understand me, I will not take time to understand your product or service. Okay, I know I'm just I'm just saying it as it is. Those who know me already are used to me. I shoot straight because at the end of the day, the truth will set us free. Right? Anyway, I want to hear I share mine, but I want to know what you think as well. Miss Chrissy, any reactions to that? Are you smiling or laughing? I am.
Yes, as usual. It explains why I've been struggling in both of my um starvingpreneur attempts. Coming from, I know what people want. I want them to listen to me. Why won't they listen to me? Stand. So, realizing that that's not true. The analogy of they are the heart, like their cash flow is the blood flow, that stuck.
That stuck with you. I'm having my tea here. Maybe I need to call this tea time with Towing because in my daily schedule now, I've hooked on tea drinking to this live show. So, but you can't see because you're on Clubhouse. But here is the key: what you just said is deep. It's deep, and I think it's the heart of entrepreneurship and business development. And I come up with that phrase to help people and business owner to disrupt this emotional tie to your business. To me, business is highly technical. I say you are the architect, you are the engineer, you are the visionary, you are the tour guide, like you in your role, right? You are the one guiding your customers. That's why I say your customers and clients are actually looking to you for leadership. Lead me to a better future. Lead me, Miss Chrissy, to a greater reward for myself. Customers today are begging. When I say begging, they are begging for businesses that will care enough to lead them and inspire them to greater. That's what I found. But again, that's why we're having this conversation. Is that we are all juggling so much the pressure that the world is on or under today, from work to kids to family to relationship. And while we're living that life, you are now trying to distract me to buy what? Tell me how that product and that solution helps me organize my life, achieve my results, build my business, make more money, right? That's the key. Organize my life. That is the question at hand, Miss Chrissy. So if you had to practice that, what would that message be to your potential clients in terms of how do you see them and how are you committed to supporting them on their journey? That's it. If you can capture that, that's it. That's what will attract people to you and get them to be loyal to your brand. Your reaction. Thank you.
I love that. I love the analogy of like, I already have enough going on in life, so your business must hurry up and describe why you're bothering me. It better be for good reason. I like that. I can explain it better. better that way because I like to just talk regular, you know. I don't like to give them any extra words. Oh, we're about like giving them the politically correct explanation of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking to them like they're human, meeting them where they're
Mm-hmm.
at.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that. So yeah,
Right.
because I can see myself as a consumer of like, what's the point of this? Hurry
Mm-hmm.
up and get to the point. Like,
That's why,
hurry up. Why
yeah,
is it going to benefit me?
absolutely. That's why somebody like Oprah, Oprah can tell you to buy anything, you will buy. Because for more than 25 years, what has she been doing? She's been listening and telling you deep, deep things about how to make your life better. She brings experts. She's the one that brought us Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, all of these incredible knowledge experts, right? That many people have used that information to better their life. That's what Oprah stands for, really. Well, that's what people don't understand. She didn't make it about herself. She built an entire enterprise about bringing knowledge about relationships, health, everything. Our celebrity news. She brought us everything we wanted to consume. And people sat at that, people programmed to be there every single day. They went on that 25 plus journey with her. Why? Because every single day she was educating you, exposing you to knowledge that you may never even encounter, right, by yourself. Because again, we are not conditioned to go out there and study these things ourselves. But guess what? We do need health information. We do need to lose weight. We do need to study. We do need, that's what I'm saying. Like the world has shifted again to say it's not just entertainment is another addiction. We are being entertained to a level where it's almost like an escape from real life. Oprah made us confront the toughest things that are happening in the world. She forced us to have the conversations we didn't want to have. She showcased incredible stories that eventually you will see your own family story in those stories she showcased. She took our attention. We paid attention. We listened. And today, if she now tells you to buy even things you do not need, you will buy it because you trust her. Everybody needs a dose of that in their brand building. But unfortunately, people want to sell first before they've actually invested in guiding people. That's what I found. That's what I found is that the reason Oprah can say favorite things, my favorite things are this, and the whole world, millions of people will rush in. Why? If Oprah says it, then why not? Right? What they are buying is actually the investment she has made in each of us over the years. Something she educated us on, a way she inspired us, the way she opened herself to the world, right? To show our own journey, weight loss journey, our books, how she is also navigating the world and the struggles. And to be honest with you, that's actually real life. That is real life. But a lot of the other things people are trying to sell you on Instagram is not real life. And you and I know. You and I know that Instagram is not selling us our real reality. So when you finish closing Instagram, you come back to real life. And now you're like, how do I run my real life? Somebody just told you, I made this, I made that. I'm in front of a jet. I'm flying here, I'm flying there. They are not showing you real life. Oprah showed us real life. And for that, the world appreciates her. So that's what I'm seeing. That the world today, enough of the, you know, tell me something. We are living in the real world with real struggles, with real demands on our time, on our energy. We're depleted, we're stressed. COVID has wreaked havoc on the world, and now you're telling me to invest, even if it's $10. I'm not investing, right? So that's what I have seen. It's not funny, but for me, I lighten this thing. I lighten it up because I say, don't make it too serious. right? It's when you understand human behavior, when you understand the shift in the marketplace, when you know who you're trying to serve, when you have a clear message, when you have a winning product, right? The reason I can speak like this is one of my members is actually even here. So if what I'm saying or what I've been saying doesn't work, I cannot come here because she will call me out. She will. The reason I can expose myself is because I would rather upfront, I make sure people know the journey. I also help them understand it requires commitment. I will tell them I'm here with you. Call on me. Ask me any questions. I want you to succeed. And they do. They constantly send me assignments. They show me their brands, their website, everything they're doing. And I encourage them. That's what teachers do. Right. And when they're happy, they send me, like Miss Abose, they sent me what she did on Instagram. I was like, good job. Keep going. Right. That's the journey I take people on. But I upfront, I make sure I help them understand that they are enrolling on a journey to transformation for themselves. That's why I also like the traditional school system in terms of if you're going to become a doctor, before you enroll, they will tell you to take you 5 years, 6 years, so that when you get 2 years in, you don't give up and back out. The reason is because psychologically, we need to prepare. If we want to take people on a long journey, for me, my school of thought is I would rather you prepare for that mountain climb to Mount Everest than for you to assume that we're just going down the street. You see, my point is that many people are making us to feel, oh, building a business is just down the street. All you have to do is just jump on reels. All you have to do is create this funnel, create that funnel, this. I'm like, really? Tell me something else. But I would rather tell you the truth that we will get there, but we implement strategies. We will be less emotional, but we will focus on our customers. Once we go on that journey, you will see a turnaround and you start getting results. I prefer to set the stage up front. That's just my preference. Because when I do that, and the people who enrolled on that journey, there are no surprises. I won't shock you, right? And you are prepared. And guess what? The outcomes and the results bear. That's what I choose to do. And it's what I encourage people to do because ultimately that's the long journey. And I also say don't start something you cannot sustain. So always build your content strategy around something you're committed to doing because the moment we start showing up for our clients, for our customers, for our community, and the moment they fall in love with us, which is one of the struggles I have, is that every single day, maybe let me disclose publicly, every single day, I'm asking myself, doing, why are you doing this again? Right? You are busy enough. So every single day, the time allocated to this is always being challenged by my busyness and the other things I have to do. That's my own struggle right now, is that I know people are asking more and more for this, and I'm showing up every single day, but I'm also asking myself, right? You know, you know, Toy is super busy, but so that's my own personal dilemma, and I continue to struggle every day transparently. Um, is that I keep asking myself, this is important. The community likes it. They're working around it. You need to prioritize this. That's why I do it first thing in the morning as well. Because if the statistics show if I do it afternoon, I'll actually get more audience. So I know that. But if I put it in the afternoon for myself, it bites into my day and I'm tired already. Right? Like by afternoon, I'm like done. So that's one of the, so those are, I'm just sharing some of the journey, the behind the scenes, so that you also be true to yourself, make your commitment, make it for your community, but also understand your why. So I know my why, right? But every day, my why keeps being challenged, right? With meetings and commitments and other things. But again, I try to knock it out first thing in the morning so I can then move on with my day. That's the strategy I'm implementing now. But I continue every day, I have to recommit to this again. So that's my own personal struggle. But I'm just acknowledging as well that we all have that, right? We all have that, but we have to show up because we care. We have to show up because it's about transformation. It's easier for me to sell you a lipstick. I do have lipstick. I'll just flash the lipstick, get a model, put it out there, and then you buy. But that's not what this is about. This is about transformation. And transformation is not overnight, by the way. But people will tell you, make you believe. No, for you to move up that ladder and to be successful, transformation is not overnight. I see one of my beloved mommies in the house, Pastor Bingpe. Would you love to join us on stage? I really honor you. Thank you for being here. Any other thoughts or comments in the room? Anybody, Miss Chrissy, Miss Abosede, any thoughts, reaction, or even encouragement for me? Go on. Does anybody, popcorn style? I'm also seeing some comments. So Clubhouse also has comments. Miss Sidika says, Coach celebrates my customer and big sister. Thank you for the love. Miss Sidika also says, sometimes we think alike. I have a workbook for my students as well. Absolutely. So I'm part of a community of, should I say, membership entrepreneurs and business owners that actually lead community and membership, paid membership. And a lot of them, one of them in particular, posted something in our private space and said, oh, I'm struggling with engagement. People are not engaging. And I responded, I said, why are you designing for engagement? Design for transformation. You know why? Social media is rewarding likes and shares. But for me, like and share doesn't mean you've been transformed by whatever it is. It just says in the moment, wow, you were inspired in the moment. The reason I'm using this format, okay, is because the transformation and the deep thinking that I actually want to take my community on requires much more than a 5-second like or a 1-second like or reshare. I'm telling you, like, I love it, right? Please share, please comment. I love it. But we are all being retrained by the social media platform around a certain behavior that actually means nothing, right? The whole world is around engagement, likes, share, reshare, all that noise. Momentarily, right? It feels exciting. Like, I feel good. Oh, that the world is coming around my content. It feels good. But the real test is, did I change any life? Right? Did I change any mind? Did I inspire anybody to really level up their own life? And if that's not happening, I'm like, why am I doing this? I could just be sleeping. If this is all about flyers and posts and all those activities that are making us all engaging, if life is about that, then we should all be living a better life, because we are consuming the last 5 years of being on social. What has social media done for you? All those scrolls and skips and schemes on Instagram. Let us sit down and interrogate and say, how has that helped me build my business? How has that made me live a better life? How has it helped me build a better, rewarding relationship? How has it helped me in my church? How has it helped me build a better church or a better community? How has social media helped? Now, I say use social media, don't let social media use you. This is the other strategy that I will use it to advance myself. But the default is that if you don't implement strategy, you will be used. But when you implement strategy, you will be the user. You will reward, your brand will, right? Because building a business today actually is a lot more easier to build a business today, leveraging social media, than 30 years ago. So thank you, social media. But my point is, most people are not maximizing the opportunities that these platforms provide, and for them to build a brand, a business, right? And for them to reach the world. Why? Because if you do the default, you will get the default results. For you to get dynamic result, you have to implement business strategy. You actually shouldn't just be, oh, I'm a creator. Okay. Are you a creator entrepreneur? Or are you a creator, a photographer that you're in the business of selling content? So, but if content is a means to an end, you better get clear about the end, right? So for us, content is a means to an end. It's not the end in of itself. Unfortunately, we are being made to believe that content is the end. So if people like, share, do all of this stuff, you should be happy. No, I'm not happy. The only thing that makes me happy is when I talk to other human beings and I see transformation, right? And I see that their life is better. That is the reward I'm seeking. That is why I'm investing, I'm doing this. It's not for likes and share. Who cares? I have people in my real life that love me. Love is better. I have people who kiss me, hug me, right? I have that full life. So I don't need social media to to do what? No. So for me, the reason I'm sharing it is get clear in terms of your intentions. Why are you doing this? Why are you building your business? What outcomes do you want to achieve? What transformation are you trying to be? Why should people pay attention? And then build around that. Build a community around that and make sure your community understands why you're doing what you're doing. Right? Make sure they understand your conviction, right? Make sure that they understand. This is where the branding strategy at the Business and Leadership Academy, that's where it comes in. Is I actually say, make sure that you understand the intentionality, your desires. Why are you doing this? Because at the end of the day, if it is just about money, you are better start doing something else. Go back to corporate. Right? Because this journey of entrepreneurship only gets incredibly rewarding when we believe what we're building or what we're doing changes lives and changes the world. That's it for me, actually. On that note, I'll start wrapping up. But any final thoughts in the room? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I also see.
I definitely, as always, appreciate the clarity that I get coming in here. I love the way you explain things and you just keep it really simple and get to the point. But you also go in depth. Like once you brought the clarity, you definitely go in depth. And I love the analogies. That's how I learn. You're in real life situations, and then I sit and I apply it immediately to like, oh, I'm currently working on something and this makes sense. I'm trying to build community. One thing I haven't heard in this room, I don't know if you're going to get towards it, but what about the I guess the psychology of pricing? Understanding self-worth as an entrepreneur or explaining.
Oh, I actually have a mini course on that at the academy. I'll share it because you asked. I'll give you some insights shortly. I saw Miss Pastor Mrs. Comment. I just saw your comment. Said, can you tell us about your academy and what program to look forward what they can undergo at the academy in order to sharpen their skills for better. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about that. But thank you so much, Pastor Mrs. Binkwe, for being here as well. I really honor you, ma'am. In the real life, these are so there's the virtual life, but when people in my real life comes into my space, I have to take a moment and give them the honor they deserve because these are the people we're doing real life with. They know me, they know me more than every other person here. So they will call me out. Pastor Mrs., you're welcome. Please unmute and please just introduce yourself. We really, I'm smiling because this is real mommy in the house. Go on, ma. um,
Am I unmuted?
now, yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you so very much, Tony. As always, I applaud all you do. I applaud how you find the time to do all you do. And I know you are not doing it just for the fun of it. You are really out to transform. You are really out to impact. And I can assure you, you are doing just that.
Oh,
I've been here just for a few minutes and I certainly am going away with so much.
wow.
And as I asked that question, I quickly went to your website. I scrolled, and when the last speaker now asks about pricing, I'm like, you need to attend the academy because I just saw that, it's part of what you teach. One last thing that I'd just like to say that it's so important that we understand, just like she has been saying, what we're out to accomplish,
Mm.
and where we are on our journey, even in entrepreneurship.
Mm.
Am I at the startup? Am I at the midpoint? Am I even doing it part-time?
Mm.
Because if you are doing it part-time, the amount of time you would be able to commit to it will certainly be not so much as somebody who is doing it full-time.
Mm.
And the outcome you are going to get cannot be as much.
Mm.
So you need to, there's need to, because these are some of the questions that were coming to me as we were speaking. And well, that's just about it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, mommy, thank you. Oh, you've just made my day. You know what? You know why? Let me say one of the struggles people have. Okay, the reason I don't want this moment to just pass. Most people say that their family and their community do not support their business. Right? Most people say that. Is that their family, the real people in your real life that know you do not buy from you. And the reason you so the key here for me, how to stop that, it's back to, are you serving even your family and your community? Because if the people, my own sister follows me, my own sibling, and I really do appreciate them. They fly in, they will invest and fly in for my summit. And mommy has met my brother. I don't, they support me beyond. They are speakers, they handle things for me in my event. Why? Because everything I do, the intention is to bless. Every event, anything, any room I'm hosting. Because if I just want to do my own thing, I know what I left. Working for Fortune 1, that was all about me. Trust me. American dream, corporate, that life was all about me. My big house, my big car, my designer shoes, and right. When I left, my commitment was to serve. So if you want your community and your people around you to rally around whatever you're working on, please build value for them. Because by default, they love us doesn't mean they will buy from us. So this is the mistake. Love doesn't need people to become a customer. The only reason people become clients, customer, part of a growing business community is because you've designed value and there's value to go around for everybody. So that's just a lesson. It's a lesson that if you are struggling right now, that you feel like the community around you are not part of your product, it's because we've not told the story of how that product can actually support them. They are also on their journey. They're on their journey. In fact, I have to take a moment and also thank Pastor Mrs. Again, publicly this time. When I hosted my first ever summit in Bentonville, Pastor Mrs. was one of the early adopters. She flew in from Ohio, hey, to be there. Until today, I'm like, Pastor, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that publicly I can actually put this on record and acknowledge that investment. You did not have to. You didn't have to. And you don't have to be here. But I just have to take this moment and honor you publicly. This is real life. Real life merging with virtual life is that the people I do real life with, she's here. And it's such an honor for me that I'm just like speechless and rambling right now. Thank you so much, mommy. I really do appreciate you.
My pleasure. Always a delight.
Same. I will never take that for granted. In fact, yeah, you mean so much to me. Thank you. So let me briefly answer the question from Miss Chrissy because I think it will help everybody. So Miss Chrissy's question was around pricing strategy. So it's actually something I've tackled at the Business and Leadership Academy, right? Let me break it this way. You need to think about pricing from a 360 viewpoint. This is technical. It's not emotional because people say, oh, my value, my value, my value. It's not about us alone. Think about pricing strategy as the 360 factors that would influence the price you can command in the marketplace. Let me list a few. Last week at the academy, I talked about demand and supply. Demand and supply is an economic term that always influences the market. So, whatever it is you're trying to sell, you need to understand, is there a demand for what it is you're selling? Because if the demand is strong, you can actually raise your price. But if you are offering something new to people that are not used to spending money on whatever it is you're offering, you will struggle because demand is low. Okay? This is where innovation comes in. So there's a strategy for every of the things I'm about to touch on. If we find ourselves trying to sell or serve people with a service they are not used to, they will question us more on why they should spend that money. So be ready. That's why I shared earlier. Your content strategy in that dynamic is asking all the questions. You need to be ready to answer all the questions in their mind. In fact, one of the things I tell my members is come up with FAQ on your website. Frequently asked questions. That's one of the strategy. Create a frequently asked question, right? All the top questions that over the past 1 year, your potential clients has been asking you. You cannot sweep it under the rug. You cannot ignore it. You cannot dismiss it. Own it, confront it, address it, and publish. In fact, let that be your content for the next 10 weeks. Every week, answer a question publicly. Post it on your Instagram around your industry. That's a strategy, because if demand is low, meaning people are not spending in that space, our job, our full-time job is to stimulate demand. If we are committed to serving those people and those people don't know they need what it is you're selling, your full-time job is to make people get hungry, because you can't feed people that are not hungry. They will put it in the trash can. Right? And even online, don't be giving your content, your everything away. It doesn't take that for you to get attraction. The academy is where it's gated community, where there are over 20 courses, hundreds of newsletters, templates, workbooks. It's a school. Okay? And that stuff is not public. But what is public is what I'm saying. Engage. We have to engage a community because demand is low. But when demand is high, that's actually when you have more flexibility. Right? Okay, that's one, demand and supply. The second thing is brand recognition. Many people don't invest in brand building. My members must. It is a requirement. You must build a brand. Why? Brand outlasts products and services. Brand is what people believe. People don't believe a product. They believe what the brand is saying about the product. Okay? Brand building is a requirement in my academy because it will save us so many headaches downstream. Who are you? Why are you building this? Why should we listen to you? What experience do you have to be the best person to address this challenge for us? On and on and on. The story of your brand knocks those things out of people's minds. It address all the questions of why you, why this, why that. The moment anybody goes to my website, you're not asking those questions anymore. You're not asking any question. Who is Toyin? What does she know? Why should I listen to her? What experience does she have teaching us entrepreneurship? I understand that those are valid questions. But the moment you go to my website, all of those questions will be knocked out. That's the power of a brand. Answer those questions up front. Why? The moment you now put a price, people know why the price is the price. But if you don't have a brand and a story that elevates and commands value in the marketplace, it's tough to say, pay me this. There's also testimonial. You can use testimonial to drive out. Like every time you're saying, pay me this, You also want to demonstrate the people that have paid you that, what do they have to say? Because what I have found is when you go through my 360 and you invest fully, actually, those are my best brand ambassadors. Miss Abosede is here. You can ask her questions. You can ask her, right? Most of the biggest brand ambassadors that I have are people that have experienced my events, attended my classes, gone to my workshops, subscribe to my newsletter, because they actually know more about the value. And the value is always, this is another strategy. I'm putting things out there. This is why when I teach, right? Value must be greater than price. Value must be greater than price. So implements so whenever you want to price, the experience I have is a factor, right? The brand that I am is a factor. If you want to book should I say Oprah or Hillary Clinton, you better be ready, right? The investment she has made into a brand is what commands value. So I also do speaking engagements, all of those things. So there's a prize list for people who invite me to come and speak or to teach. You see my point? So brand is a requirement for me because it will save you a lot of energy in trying to sell anything. When you build a brand, when you understand demand and supply, when you understand the people you're trying to serve, you've built a solution that actually solves specific tangible needs for them. When it is time to sell and market, it's easy. In fact, they will be asking you the question, tell me more about your offer. Like you've built trust with me. I've seen other people say the transformation. I've seen their testimonials. You've answered all the questions on my mind, and now I'm ready to go on that journey with you. That requires significant investment on our side, but I'm saying when we make that investment, life is easier. Because I don't also, that's what Mr. Bossede was testifying to, that when you go through that journey, selling becomes very easy. Because why? People have already bought into that transformation first before they actually bring out their card. But we are trying to get people to bring their card and buy. What are they buying? That's really the question on people's mind, is like, what am I buying here? What would this thing do for me? So the more we can answer those questions up front, there's copywriting, frequently asked questions. Everything you say on your website, on your social media profile should be answering questions on the people's mind. And when you do all of that, you understand also the value you command, your competition, then you can price. You can price the value. And people will not question that because they are buying transformation. And here's finally what I would say. This is what I've also, psychologically, this is also what happens. The level of investment we make in ourselves, okay, gives us confidence to also challenge other people to make the same investments in themselves. So I know the investments, I can speak to you, I can share, I can teach. People don't ask me, Tony, how did you become this? What did you invest to command this value? If I open my mouth and I tell you the investments I've made to become this person, and I say, are you ready to go on that journey? I'm not even asking you to make that level of investment because I would not tell you to make it. It's a lot of risk. All I'm saying is make 0.00% of that investment in yourself, and I will take you on a journey that will help you arrive sooner than I did. That's how maps are created, is that somebody has to go first, bear it all, suffer it all, scars and bruises, and care enough to come back to the community and say, hey, ho, ho, my sister, my brother, let me tell you something. That journey is tough. It's very hard. Let me help you make your life easier. Just pay this. Access this. I will teach you how to get there faster because I did, and it was very painful. So that's where offers come in, is when we help people understand why we care. And why? Because once people understand, once our community is, they are enlightened to why this is important for them, then it becomes easy. It's an easy sell. But when we don't do that, and we're just saying, buy, buy. Why are you not buying? Why are you not buying? You should buy. You should buy. People who run, it's like chasing a goose. The more you start backing, you're chasing a chicken. The chicken is not warmed up to you, or a goose. You are like, you are scattering. We are actually scattering the community if we continue to chase them with that rhetoric. It doesn't work. At least that's what I've found, is that I will create a space like this. Let's talk. What are you going through? This is what I've gone through. We'll compare notes. I'll share with you. I'll teach you. And I'll say, hey, there's more. There's an entire school. But guess what? You will study like Miss Abosede has studied. Miss Abosede, that's what she was sharing, that my assignments. Miss Abosede, are you still with us? She always takes my assignments to other people in the industry. Please tell them the assignments. How tough has it been?
Very tough. Very tough. I can't handle it alone. I had to call Miss Syndicate and Mr. Lai to help me out with it.
And when you now have the answers, what happens?
Yeah, transformation. Yeah.
Yes, and this weekend I just released 30, it's 34 questions now, but it's going to be 37 questions for entrepreneurs. I call it the entrepreneurs workbook. You will explain the business you're in. You will explain what industry are you in, what markets are you in, what market segment are you serving, because the behavior of the people we're trying to serve also is controlled by the dynamics of the market. So, for example, let me use my analogy. I think I used it yesterday. If we are fishing, this is what they call red blue ocean strategy. Okay, red ocean strategy is that it's a dying space. There's more competition. The fishes are crying because they've been spending their money too much in that space. Blue ocean strategy, there's more life. There's more life in the market. People are spending money, they're being, in and out, in and out, in and out. So if we as an entrepreneur decide to go and fish in a red ocean, you will suffer a little bit. The pain is not that there's something wrong in us, is that market, that segment is structured and behaving a certain way. But if you are fishing in a blue ocean, you will catch your fish, you go home, you come back tomorrow, you catch another one, you catch. But the skills to catch are the things I teach at the academy. So let me stop right there. I hope that analogy, red ocean versus blue ocean, is that the dynamics of your market, the dynamics of the community. In fact, the same product, back to pricing question, the same product may be viewed differently by different groups of people, price wise. Miss Chrissy, any reaction to everything I just shared? Did that help? I hope it does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm processing. Yeah, that was very helpful. Because there's always something that sticks out, and saying that, showing the transformation. I understand that more now. That I've been making a promise to my community to heal out loud in front of them, and so that just drives the point home to do that, of showing like what it has done for me, what I had, the investment I made was the time versus the money initially.
It's never about the money. Miss Chrissy,
exactly.
I'm telling you, this is what I know. The money, it's never about the money. If you go to a gas station, I just want to buttress your point. If you go to the gas station today, market conditions are increasing the cost of price. But guess what? You need gas. You will go. So it's never about, we use money. This is another lesson that I've taught in the academy. We use money to acquire what we want, what we need, what we like. So the money is a tool, is a resource that your customers will use to buy from you. But the key is, do you have what they need, what they know they want, right? What will help them achieve their goals? The moment you can design something people need, want, like, money is not a problem. After all, people are spending how much on Louis Vuitton bags? Tell me. It's not about the money. Maybe that's another topic. We are being conditioned to invest thousands of dollars in consumables. But when it comes time to investing into our future that will help us to be productive, more productive, then everybody says time out. Go on, please.
No, I definitely agree. I understand, yeah, when someone sees something as a priority and explaining it to them, like a year from now, you'll be grateful of the investment you made today versus a bag that will lose its value the second that you walk out.
I love bags. I love designer. I'm even wearing.
It's very valuable.
I love designer.
I know you love design.
I'm wearing Tommy. So, in fact, there's a premium mall. I love right by my house. Premium mall. I go there to go and play. I love rewarding. But I'm saying there's a distinction. I understand when I'm investing in luxury and rewarding myself is different from when I'm investing and spending money to fly to a meeting, to do certain things and putting money behind building my brand. I don't make that mistake of confusing the two. Do you understand? I don't mistake that when I go and buy designer this, my skincare, all of those things. I'm rewarding myself for working so hard. Then I will have to go back and put more money to make sure my platforms, all these tools I'm using to go live, that I'm making monthly, daily investments in my business, my platforms, the amount I pay to put these brands together and the many websites and what I call digital assets that I have takes investment heavy. I do not mistake that for consumption. Like, I love nice things. Like, I'm wearing Italian jewelry, like coin, right? Trust me, I love nice things. My point is, our community is being misled to think the car you drive, whatever it is, will all of a sudden elevate your value in the marketplace. No. You will smell good, look good, but you will not be able to enter the rooms that I design, where there are ambassadors and Fortune 500, because what helps you move into those spaces is what you know, is driven by what you know. You cannot, like, what we know is what opens door to move to the next level. Bibles talked about it. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Is not lack of Louis Vuitton bags or this or that. God could have been telling us, dress more, you will be going up. No, knowledge is power. And we have not been conditioned to invest in knowledge. Well, we've been conditioned to stop at PhD, MSc, masters, but lifelong learning, leadership, entrepreneurship learning, that's what is missing. So that's why actually you and I, our work is cut out for us, because we're trying to serve our community. We're trying to help them elevate. But guess what? Our community resists. And the same time, people will say, oh, that's too expensive. In the same moment, that very day, they will spend more than that amount on consumables, on bills, on this, on that. And then we're living the consumer lifestyle versus the producer lifestyle. So for me, the shift I make is for us to be productive members of the productive economy. Entrepreneurship shifts us from consumer to producer. That's what many don't realize, is that it is more painful to produce a product, a service, and sell it and get rewarded. Buying is a senseless act, right? Spending money is easier. Creating a product, selling, persuading other people to buy is much more work. And how do you embrace that work? Change, adopt the mind. That's what I call mindset of an entrepreneur. I say you will sell, you will persuade, and you do it smiling, because that's our full-time job now. Is that we will derive value. The work that I've created, the company I've created, the solutions, the platforms. It's like an hotel. If you design and build an hotel, then you invite the whole world to come and buy a room and a space to enjoy, right? That's the mindset. That's the shift I'm encouraging people to make, is that there's actually joy and reward in doing all of this work. Why? If you want banana, when you go to Walmart or any store, you pay 3.99. Why? Because I want banana, but I did not plant it. I did not water it. I did not fertilize that banana, but I want it. It's the same thing in entrepreneurship, is that you have produced a product and a service that will make people's lives better. When they want it, they have to reward you. Otherwise, it's charity, right? So if I have gone ahead to do this work, when you think about supply chain, logistics, the work it takes to bring that banana to the world, or the work it takes to bring gasoline to a station. If you want what they've brought to you, you will reward them for doing all that work. That's the same thing I say. The psychology of an entrepreneur must shift, is that all you're doing is, I see your pain, I see your struggles, I've created something that will make your life better. And if you want it, here's the price. It's simple. If you don't want it, keep moving. Next. It's the same thing that retailers do. You want toothpaste, you want orange, you want eggs, milk. They will do the work. They'll bring all of those things forward to you. But you cannot go in there, take a gallon of milk and run out without paying. It doesn't work. The same thing is the mindset of an entrepreneur, is that we will work really, really hard to bring value into the world. And when we do that, we will put how much you want to be rewarded. Back to pricing, Miss Chrissy. You will put your tag to say, to get this is the reward I want. This is, and then to build a successful business, we have operational cost, right? Markup, and then you think about the difference, right? That's the accounting of a successful business, right? Is that income must be greater than expenses for you to actually sustain a business. That's another topic entirely, but I hope that helped. This is the shift. I'm saying, let's embrace all of these things and talk about it. It's simple. It's simple. If we can adopt this mindset that we're bringing value to the marketplace, and those who want that value, we can just say banana 3.99. Okay, I know this is funny, but it's not funny, but it's serious. I'm just trying to help people remember that when you're designing your business, approach it from an elevated standpoint. Because if we don't, the market will keep slapping people left, right, center. You get frustrated. No. Be in charge. You're the boss. Take control and lead. This is where leadership comes in, is we will lead the market, we will lead our clients, we will also challenge the behavior, which is the blind spot. There's a blind spot strategy. We will call those things out, behaviors, mindset, limiting beliefs out, that is actually stopping them from arriving at that destination. So for example, back to the gym membership. If I'm somebody, this is what I would do if I owned a gym. I will not just sell the gym, but I will also sell certain instructional guidance and certain activities. I will sell it, because in that booklet, I will tell my gym members everything that will stop them on this journey. I will give them tips of how to decide. Do you want to exercise in the morning, or do you want to exercise in the evening? We've done science and research shows that if you exercise in the morning, you can do it and done, and you can move on to your day. Science has shows that those who exercise in the evening outperform those who exercise. Right? I will give them all the data. Right? I will tell them, if you want to exercise, we have partnered with a shoe company. This shoe actually helps you do this thing better. I will tell that story. I will tell you that we actually have a nutritionist on staff that can look at the food you're eating every day and can help you to decide the calorie count, all of those things, so that when you come into our gym, you maximize the outcome. That's how I would if I built a gym, that's how I would design it. Why? Selling membership alone. Netflix is telling us. People have been subscribing to membership. Now they are smarter and saying, why do I subscribe? It's not subscribe. I can actually exercise somewhere else. But if you want to be an entrepreneur of the future, you will bundle your product with, with knowledge, with support, with inspiration, with motivation. Because you know why? People are looking for results, not just a product. And so for me, I've applied that principle at the Business and Leadership Academy as well. Why did I apply that principle? Is because if I ask you, do you know what it takes to lose weight or to build a business? The answer everybody will give is yes. We know we need a brand. We know this. We know the basics. We know that. The gap that I am seeing is mastery. Mastery. And you only become a master when you actually practice and put it into practice. That's one of the biggest game changers of how I designed the academy. Is that I'm not trying to tell you, go and do this, go and do that, jump on reels, do that. No, no, no. I want you to master the principle. I want you to lord over it. Because when you master something, it cannot master you. You will be in control. If you're flying that plane, if you are a rookie, that plane will master you. But when you are a master, when you attain mastery, when you understand the strategy of branding, what it does, why you need to do it, you will do it. And when you do it, I'll be there to give you feedback and say, wow, good. Could you change it? Even one of my clients, we went to their Instagram and we totally shifted their Instagram bio because I want it to align to the brand you're telling me you're trying to build. That is what the academy does, is helping people to move into mastery. Because once you master, marketing and sales and value proposition and all of those things, it will reflect in how we're doing our work. It will reflect. It's just a matter of time. At that point, it's just a matter of time. The results will bear. Because once you start doing something consistently, then the market will give way. But if we're doing things and we don't know what we're doing, the market will not respond appropriately. But it takes time. But mastery is really the key. That's what I recommend. And that's why I say if you're not if you're not ready to go to school, if you don't want to do assignments, if you don't want to be, it's really tough to work with me because Miss Abose, they will tell you, even just this week, every week there's something to work on. And when we have that knowledge, we are implementing it. We are being challenged to grow our business every single day. That's what the academy is about. So I know I went full circle there, but I want to thank every single person that stayed in. Any questions? I really hope I served you with the pricing question, Miss Chrissy, because it's a real question. I find people go at it emotionally. I say don't be emotional with your pricing, because the conditions that influences the price, it's 360. Your customers. So if you have customers that are already used to premium offers, they're not going to question your premium offer. You see my point? It's not always you. Okay? It's not always us. Is that people, the most successful people in the world, it's actually easier for me to sell to them than people that are still moving up that pyramid. Because those who got to the top of the house of success, they invested their way to that. So if you're asking them to invest, they're not going to question, why should I invest? Why should I get a consultant? Why should I get this? Why should I get a coach? They're never going to, because Oprah did not become Oprah by not getting coaches. I even when she had maybe 5. You don't become Tiger Woods by not having a coach. You don't become Shaquille O'Neal. You don't become President Obama. You don't become by not surrounding yourself with consultants, knowledge experts that will keep coaching you every day so you can outperform in the world. So successful people, the top 1%, when I engage with them, they're the easiest people to sell to. I'm just being transparent because they got there by making serious, heavy investments into their future. They are used to even going to the bank. They are such a risk taker that they are used to going to the bank to borrow money to build a business. You see my point? And I remember my own story as an immigrant, right? I remember as an immigrant student, wow, maybe 16 years ago, I was getting my master's and we had an offer to attain SAP certification. And as a student in Central Michigan University, that offer was brought to us as $1,500 to get that certification. And for non-students, it was $5,500. This was as far back as 16 plus years ago. I was just graduating. I was about to graduate with my master's at Central Michigan. And the school brought SAP Germany to us and say, we've negotiated with SAP Germany. If you want this certification, it's 1,500. If you graduate, you will pay 5,000. Guess what I did as an immigrant? I couldn't go back home and tell my uncles and my brothers to come out. No, they already got me here. That was my first credit card in America. That was my first application to get a credit card. I said to myself, this certification is a game changer. 1,500. I will invest it in my future. And guess what? That was the first ever credit card I opened in US. And guess what? That certification sets me apart from my peers. That I had 3 offers on the table, and I negotiated when I was joining Whirlpool Corporation. I negotiated over 20,000 more than my peers using that certification. I said, guess what? I am already certified SAP consultant. I invested and I paid myself. The company didn't educate me in SAP. So the day I come to your job, this was my negotiation with HR, right? On the phone. When they first gave that offer, we will pay you this. I was like, no, I want to talk to HR because I have 3 offers. I have 3 companies I can go to. So let's negotiate this thing. I made that argument that the day I show up, you don't have to train me again. I've already trained myself. So I'm ready to come and perform. And they boosted me. They upped it. So that investment paid off immediately. So entering the workplace, entering and corporate, I entered higher than my peers because I invested. So this is a principle. I'm not telling you, please, please, please. I'm not telling anybody, disclaimer, to go and open a credit card. No, no, no. I'm not. Please. I'm just saying that I will not ask other people to do certain things that I haven't done for myself. That's all. That's the reason I share that story. Right? So I can sit here and just, be on my rocking chair because I'm not asking. I know what I've invested to develop all these programs to go on this journey. And this is what I'm giving entrepreneurs the permission to do. I also hereby give you permission to tell your story of how you got here, how you became the person you are, your experience, your fortitude, your focus, your dedication, and help them understand that you don't get here by not making investments or taking risk. No, 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 no. We will work hard. And when we work hard, guess what? Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos worked hard, and now they're buying your yachts. Give me my yachts. Okay, I'm going to be wrapping up now. You see, every time we go to Amazon and we're swiping, we are rewarding Jeff Bezos. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. You can bring me what I have in 48 hours or less. Thank you. Every time you bring out your card, you're saying, thank you, Tesla. Thank you, Mercedes Benz. Thank you, Louis Vuitton, for bringing a smile into my life. Thank you for doing all that work for manufacturing, for spending years to do deep research. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm laughing. Okay, these people that are not used to Toyin laughing this way. It's my way of just making lightening the mood. But I know this is very serious because the reason I'm sharing this is that when I work with my clients, right, there's a lot of emotional. I don't know what to say. My goal is let's take our power back. As entrepreneurs, let's take our power back. Let's get in the driver's seat. We are leading, we will lead the market. I will lead my clients, I will lead my customers, I will lead the market. That's it. And where we're leading them is glory, transformation, elevation, right? We will not lead them wrong. We will commit not to lead people wrong. We will lead them to the promised land. And we will all live happily ever after. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Miss Chrissy, did that help?
Yes, I am full. Thank you so much for this again today.
Yes. Yes. I am on the side of the entrepreneur. I am on your side. I choose to be on the side of the entrepreneur because I say it's not easy. Respect, give us our accolade, give us our reward, celebrate us, tell us thank you. We've done the work that people need in the world. We've done the work. So that's why I am on the side of the entrepreneur. That's really it. I see you, I see your struggle, I see your pain, I see the emotional roller coaster that the market puts us through. I see the landscape and social media telling you to give all your stuff free, free, free. Please don't do that. Tell them no. I worked too hard for me to give my life. I worked too hard. It's the unsuspecting gullible that the platforms will tell you keep micro messaging, do all this work and get no reward. The platforms are being rewarded anyway. That's another psychology that privately I help my clients and members see this behavior and this pattern and say, no, 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 no. Get off that hamster wheel. It's by design. Get off. We will engineer for success. We will master, right, sales and persuasion. We will build our brand that people will buy into. There must be believability in our brand. We will work on those things because when we do, we will be rewarded. But all these things that people are saying, more, 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 reels, 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 how long can you? The moment you start dancing, how long? You will dance forever. 5 years from now, it will be something else. And you never know what they would be telling us to do. They will say, hands up, roll around, swing from the tree. Are you ready to do that? No, I'm not.
That sounds like Simon Says. Like we got the puppet master that's running the show, and those of us are choosing to
Invisible hands.
media.
Yes, I used to be a programmer. The moment a platform is programmed to reward certain behavior, if you don't align yourself to that behavior, you will not get the reward. It's a simple code. I used to be a programmer. If I code input output and I code it that this input, and I have a master's, I have a first degree mathematics, master's in information system. So I'm speaking intelligently. When I say social media, I see the technology and the infrastructure and the algorithm side. I'm a certified SAP consultant. So that's also something I'm bringing to the table and offering my clients. That's why we talk about scaling, process improvement, engineering, right? When I talk about scaling automation, a website is an automated machine that you can use code. That I say, use technology to build a scalable business, self-serve. So it's also something, it's a skill that I bring to the table when I'm coaching all these things. I understand, input, process, output. If the platforms are designed to reward sensationalism, let me break it down. And then I know I've gone over, but this is entertaining. When I say entertaining, this is exciting to me because this is what I live for, right? It's like Jesus saying, this is the bread. This is why I'm doing all of these things, these types of questions, this excitement. It excites me a lot. So that's why I'm leaning into it. When a platform is designed to reward sensationalism, Facebook, okay, let me break those platforms out. If you post something that is sensational, that is attacking, that breathes fire, Facebook will reward you. It will reward you. Political commentary, something that's the platform can signal how people will rush into sensational sparks of fire. Facebook will immediately push those things. And you just see this type of energy when people are bickering and shouting and this, no, Donald Trump, no, this, that. Facebook. That energy, the platform identifies it, bubbles it to the surface. You'll be seeing more of those sensational things. Look at the reels and the things. Look at Facebook recommendation to you. All of the things that they recommend to you, any of it, does it make your life better? No. It's celebrity news, it's gossip, it's this, it's this. That platform is designed for that. This is Stoin says. So be aware when you're building your strategy. That's why people had to move into groups. The reason groups on Facebook, was adopted, the reason is because people wanted to get away. They wanted to control their own space the way they wanted on Facebook. And that has also been disrupted. Facebook doesn't really like it now. But the reason groups got maximized, that people rushed into Facebook group, the reason it was extremely successful is because people took charge of the conversations they wanted to have on Facebook. Why? Facebook wasn't leading and giving them exactly what they wanted. So community leaders started building, prayer groups, mommy groups, this group, and then you have to be, so you actually have to be in a group to get maximum outcome from Facebook. If you're a loner being by yourself, it's very, very tough for you to post anything and anybody see it. No. But if you build a group, but that thing is also dying. So I'm breaking down some strategy for you. Instagram. Should I go on, Miss Chrissy? Miss Chrissy, she
No, I get it. This has been impactful, very informative. So no, I'm processing it.
it's a lot.
It's been another good day. It is.
It's a lot.
It is. But a lot of it's confirmation. Once again, every time I come to the room, I get some type of
Yeah.
clarity, and I'm making sure I actually apply it. Because when I first got into the app, I was in information hoarding. And now it's like actually apply it to the business and make it make sense. It's always the message is right on time.
Yes.
These rooms were created just for me.
No, and you are here just for me as well. You are here for me. You know why? The reason I keep calling your name is this you have the energy that extracts from, like, I can go into a space and not say anything, because it's like what Jesus says, you can move into a place, if people don't need it, you just withdraw. So I find myself withdraw in many spaces. But when I sense your type of energy, right, and the energy of people that subscribe in my membership, that energy lights me up. It is like I'm living for this. I'm ready to really. So you are here for me as well. You may not know, but you're feeding me and I'm feeding you. Is that the reason I'm still on, even an hour after I'm supposed to close this out, is because the hunger that I get, the need of the room is so thrilling to me, because I design solution to meet that need. So it's kind of like it's addictive to me. Right? It's like, how many times have I said I want to close this out? This is what I live for. This is why you are the type of person that I know. If I tell you something, you're not going to throw it in the garbage. If I invest in you, you're going to transform, right? The results and the outcome. And next time when you come, you're going to say, this is what has shifted for me. That's what this is all about. So when I see one of you, I'm like, oh, yes. Did I answer your question? Did I help you? Did I, right? I have something for you, right? So I want to say thank you, because it works both ways. That's why I say in entrepreneurship, we don't have to work with everybody. In fact, yesterday I was in the room and someone said, "Don't come and talk to us. We've come up with a title because of what you just shared, right? You are not for everybody, and that's okay." Maybe that's a key message. Tony, I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. I've settled that that's okay. Right. So that's another thing that I've come to know, is that energy must match, right? Is that passion sells, right? I can use my passion to offer, but what actually buys is desire. People have to desire transformation for themselves. That's where the magic happens. So I love this kind of interaction, because it's making me, it's just stimulating me to keep just, anyway. I know I'm putting my business out there, but it's real life. Is I get excited, whenever I have the opportunity to demonstrate value for the people I created value for anyway. So apply that as well. When you find your people, this is the beauty. Maybe, this is the power of social media. When we know that the people we've created value for need the value, when we encounter each other, magic happens. But when we've not encountered each other, both sides are frustrated. The entrepreneur is frustrated. The people who need the value are frustrated. It's boy meets girl transformation. Is that if you trust that what you've created serves its particular transformative need, I am telling you, guaranteed, that when those people meet you, they will give thanks to God. Like, I know I've seen that magic of people saying towing. I didn't even know. One person said something, I don't know, like, was it Miss Sidikat? Miss Sidikat is even in the room. She said it. She said, this is the best thing that happened to her on Clubhouse, meeting and encountering our connection. That is what gives birth to transformation for me. Absolutely. I love it. So I'm here for you and you're here for me. And this is the power of social media. That's why I say use social media. Don't let social media use you. So on that note, I am really, really going to close out. First of all, I'll close out the main live stream, my YouTube. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe. Incredible value here. You've made my day. Absolutely. I'm going to close this out. And then we always have a mini after show on Clubhouse. God bless you all. Thank you.